Okay, fair enough. It's that definitely sounds very interesting to say the least, as we do have the draft continuing. Abaddon Leshrac out for the side of Spawn.496, and naturally Mirana Lifestealer is going to be the next two pickups here for Lilgun. Interesting, so it should mean a mid-TA to come out here for Lilgun, and obviously the safe thing in Lifestealer. I suppose the Lifestealer doesn't care too much about the Mars, so you do have that inbuilt rage to just be able to deal with the arena. And how do you feel about this? I mean, the Leshrac, it does raise some questions for me here for Spawn.496, because it's still one of those heroes that either does really well or just does nothing.
I think it's a great pick against TA. You have a lot of burn damage to prevent that refraction from being an issue. And what I do like from Lilgun is they might not have the best team fight, but they've got really great solo target pickoff here, Mike, with the Nightmare into Arrow, but that is counteracted by the Abaddon. So I think Spawn.496 has pretty good saves on hand to prevent that combination from really working itself to its max extent. What I do find strange with Spawn.496 is they don't have the best Grimstroke combinations now. So you could argue double lightning from Leshrac could be nice, but it's not one of those standout spells to chain. And I don't see anything on the pause 1 that can really emphasize that. So I think their synergy with the Grimstroke's kind of dampened because of that. You don't have like an Ember that can run up as well. It's mainly just the Mars that can make use of the Inkswell right now. I think that is something Lilgun can use to their advantage. Like, as you mentioned, Lifestealer against Mars. Laning phase isn't the most clear-cut. We've seen Mars actually harass out Lifestealers there. But once that rage is up, once your emphasis is on that team fight with the arena, that rage will do a lot in just cutting that off from being an issue. And again, the win condition isn't on the Lifestealer anyway. It's still on the TA on the mid.
But what do you go now as a pos 1 here for Spawn.496? Because the first thing that came to my mind was something like a Razor, if you really wanted to enable this kind of draft, but Spawn.496 banned that out themselves. I mean, they are yet to pick up a series here, Spawn.496. I mean, they're one game away right now, so you'd love to see them pull it off here in game 2, but what are you thinking, John, in terms of pos 1s against what Lilgun have? Because it does really feel like you want something a little bit faster.
They don't have the option of Terrorblade, which could have helped them, clump up and push early on with Metamorphosis. You could try for Luna. I mean, that can play pretty fast. Just go for a Mask of Madness Dragonlance build and join your team early.
I hate it.
And kind of push towers that way. I know. I mean, you and I have seen that hero fail multiple times, but it does play fast if you wanted to. The other direction Spawn.496 could go is just ultra late game. Right, They could go with a heavy pause 1 here. Something like the Medusa kind of fits perfectly with a Mars, with a Leshrac. That could be the way to go for Spawn.496 if they wanted.
It was banned though. The Medusa is not available, unfortunately, Jonathan. See what they do end up choosing here for Spawn.496. I mean, I'd love to see the Drow come out, personally, John. I do feel like we're yet to see a nice Drow game with the beautiful Arcana that just came out with the Battle Pass. I believe we saw the Arcana last night in Division 1, but it wasn't the full set, which was very confusing to me. Because it is a rather beautiful set.
I think it was a rare Immortal we saw instead. The PL does come out for 496, so not much illusion clear from Lilgun. This could be one way to go. It's not the fastest paced core, though. So there's still that disconnect with the pacing the Leshrac and Mars might want to play with in comparison to the PL, but it can develop quite fast. And again, when you look at the Lilgun supports, they can't clear out illusions. They don't really have AoE control to stop a Phantom Lancer as well. So I'm keen to see if Lilgun fix that with the offlane pick, because right now it is looking like a bit of a free PL game in terms of just zipping in and out and not being killed.
Yeah, no, certainly so. I mean, they've got one final pickup here, and it does feel like it's for the offlane of Lilgun, so we'll see what they can kind of do to rectify this issue. It does still seem like a very free PL game, though I agree with you on that. I mean, you can rely on the Sire Blades, but you'd rather not if you can avoid it. Well, 30 seconds to think about this for Lilgun. I guess you could go things like Tide, but that doesn't seem that amazing either. What other offlanes are there, John, that kind of strike your fancy here?
Well, if the Sand King wasn't banned, that would have been one way to go.
Oh, there you go.
End up with the Axe. So the Axe comes back out. I think we have seen 11 played out a couple of times as well. Maybe not in the DPC yet, but certainly in the past. Is something he can play to the edge. So that is their AoE control. That is one way to punish a Phantom Lancer. We'll just have to see if 11 can get off to that running start. Because in the lane, I don't think the Axe outright wins the lane against PL, especially since you're already laning against Abaddon. So Battle Hunger build is just kind of canceled out by Ohio, and that makes it a lot tougher for 11 to leverage that early start here.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm very intrigued to see how this Axe does end up panning out for 11. Like, I'm a big fan of the hero, John. I love watching it, love playing it. I think it's a fantastic hero, but we'll see how it does pan out. It's easier said than done to go against the PL with this hero. Obviously, during the laning stage, you're not really too concerned, but as you do kind of creep into the late game, the Axe does tend to drop off when it comes to heroes like the PL. Especially if you go down the Diffusal Blade route, it becomes really annoying because you never have mana as this Axe. Just never. So we'll see what they do. We'll see what they build up on this hero to try and make it work. I've got to say, while we do have the Axe here, John, I'm still kind of annoyed that they changed the shards on Axe because of the whole Manta thing that was going on. Remember the Manta illusion spinning, and well, I thought it was just make it so Manta doesn't allow the illusions to spin. That's all you had to do. But for some reason, they decided it was better to change the shard altogether.
Pretty much. It's sad, Mike. I know you really love that meta when Axe was like a big pause 1 core. Valve felt otherwise. So there you go. Ice Frog nerfed you to the ground. It was fun. It was fun to watch, but it's gone, Mike. It's time to move on.
Fair enough, John. Well, we'll move on with us as well and move into the game number 2. See if Lilgun can take this one out, or whether we're going to see a 2-0 victory here for Spawn.496. It'll definitely be a very nice start to their new year if they are able to pull this one off. And again, you kind of mentioned this before Game 1 really started, but they are kind of facing relegation with the way these series have been going for them, so they need every win they can get right now. So we are going to have a bit of a sneak up with this smoke, Red and Xiao Bon. Not going to find any target they would have liked. Looks like they'll just have to leave everyone be. But you'd have to argue they probably do have the stronger level 1 timing on Spawn.496. But I suppose it could go anyway, but whenever I see a Leshrac, I always feel that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage that you can leverage here on Spawn.496. You do still have to respect the single target control, though. But again, you've got Abaddon. He already has the Aphotic Shield on Ohio, so even just finding one, as long as Abaddon's around, it can be a bit tough. And that will lead to just a bit of a passive start. You know, they're still kind of clumped up. Maybe they play tag for a bit, but it should be an even 2-for-2 start.
They're going to run into Ace 12. 4-2-3 still playing around, but he's going to leave the bounty rune be. So it'll be a 2-for-2 trade. That's an even start between these two. And we'll start off with the bot lane, John. Of course, you've got 11 there, along with Kishka on that Mirana. They're going to be up against Ohio and naturally Ghost on that PL. Obviously, Mirana into Abaddon, not the most fun, as you can just purge off every single time somebody does get arrowed, unless he gets arrowed by himself. But I'd say, all things being said, it does feel like Ghost shouldn't have the worst time in the world.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad of a lane for Ghost. There are a lot of ways to play it. At the same time, again, you have to respect the early spin, the early harassment that 11 does have. I don't think he's going to be gunning for that Battle Hunger build, so we should maybe see Berserker's Call with counter heal it's really built up, just to emphasize on zoning out, because you'll never get value from Battle Hunger. Early hours are going to be important for Kishka, whether or not it's on a hero or the range creep. Really just to secure that initial EXP is going to be key for Lilgun. So I'll have to see if they can get that running, but you're already seeing a lot of damage coming out onto 11, and a good amount onto Ghost because of that arrow, so the back and forth's already in play, Mike.
Certainly. While we do have a quick pause out, Jonathan, are you looking forward to the new season of Dragonblood coming out? I believe 18th of January is the date they've given.
Oh yes, I'm looking very forward to that. I'm looking to see how they treat our girl Lena, and what else they have in store for us. I'm very happy to see that because I'm tired of everyone talking about Arcane. I was like, stop it, guys, stop it. I don't want to see it. I respect that you guys say it's good, but you know, I'd rather not. Thank you.
We're 59 seconds into the game, John. There's no Arcane rune spawning yet. Well, what Arcane you talking about?
It's nothing, Mike. It's just a little thing, you know. It's fine.
Sounds like garbage, Jonathan.
Kids these days.
Sounds like a terrible anime if it was one. Anyway, moving on. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Of course, mid lane, Sanctity and XE Learn against each other. And XE Learn, he's doing a great job right now of landing these stuns. But Sanctity is going to be able to survive through it. But you already see that aggression through the mid lane. Very annoying here for Sanctity. Keep in mind, no points up on Diabolic Edict yet. So, you know, you got to be kind of concerned about that being skilled up as well if you're this TA.
Yeah, there's a lot of burn that you can do on the Leshrac up against TA. It's not an easy lane for the TA. We talk about range matchups versus melee matchups for TA. It does feel easier to actually line up your shots up against melee heroes compared to range, because you have a wider arc to dodge from as Exeler, and so he's not really going to be affected by the side blades, even when they get up. Right now, Sanctity just doesn't have that, having to go for durability. And this is a cause of concern for Sanctity. It's a slower start for him on mid. Lots of denies coming through from Exeler, and so lots of EXP and farm disappearing from Sanctity's end means that this Leshrac is going to hit 6 fairly fast. You have really good bottle control coming through as well, and that's something that Lilgun might have to correct with a couple of support rotations for the bottle.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, final lane, on top lane, you've got Xiao, Bon, and of course Red. They're going to be up against 4-2-3. He will have the support there of Ace 12. This laning phase, very even thus far, John. Do you think that there's an advantage to go either way, or pretty even kind of laning stage to be expected?
And this one's a lot more even. I mean, you've got the save and Ace 12 with Nightmare. You do have that dual stun that can come out with a Spear and the Inkswell. But 4-2-3 is fairly tanky on the Lifestealer. You don't necessarily want to trade with him up front because of his passives. So it is going to be a more farm-centric lane. And they are giving a lot of space out to 4-2-3 in that sense to build up, because Spawn.496 don't really want to harass him too hard. I mean, there's only so much Xiao Bon can do with the Grimstroke there. And again, Ace 12 is just putting his body forward to cut off that movement. So back and forth, just building up. 4-2-3 will want to hit that early farm spike into the armlet and phase boots. I think that's going to be key. That's going to be the central focus for Lilgun. Not looking for the kill opportunity on their side. Play defensive and just keep that farm game up.
Oh yeah, all the action seems to be in the mid lane, John. I mean, I consistently look over and Sanctity's just dropping low every single time. Plus, XE Learn now, he does have the level 2 Diabolic Edict up, so if you land that stun, Sanctity might just be as good as dead. As they do try to arrow and just catch out XE Learn, but he does juke it out. You pointed out the rotations, but now Sanctity, he might be in danger. He'll try to melt and fight back. That creep is taking so many Diabolic Edict hits, as XE Learn now is the one in danger. But he does have a free fire, and now Kishka, he may have gone too far, but no, the arrow. It does land in time. He gets first blood onto XE Learn. Oh, such a close call. That damn creep by the TA that whole time, he tanked all the Diabolic Edict hits.
Yep. Just took off it. You could have maybe burned out Sanctity if you managed to clear that creep faster, but rather unfortunate. Xiao Bon looking to pressure, but the TPs are coming in from both sides.
Nice stroke of fade out. Sanctity just so low, but not low enough to die yet. XE Learn, he'll come back for a bit of revenge, but won't be able to be within range to really cast any spells. Does at least get the salve cancel through the halfway point. So definitely a very nice start here for Lilgun, and very nice timing from Kishka to rotate. So Hyo now makes his way over and will force Kishka away from the mid lane.
Yeah, rather unfortunate as well with that TP back on Mirana. Didn't get the bottle top up for Sanctity, and that will lead to Xiao Bon trying to be aggressive again.
Quick rotations though from the Bane, but it's very unfortunate timing for Ace 12. He does get stunned up. And the chase is on. XE Learn, he wants a secondary kill. Ace 12, he's going to be targeted, but he does find a little juke spot on the tree line. As XE Learn, he'll keep chasing with the creep vision. He should eventually be able to secure a kill here. But instead, he goes for the denies on the creep wave and just leaves them be.
I think he was gunning for the creep pull into a neutral instead. Misses out. I feel like he had enough there to go for a Lightning Storm into stun and kind of get the Diabolic Edict to melt. So just letting Mercy play out in the end. Ace 12 is going to be fine, but that will lead to the supports being stuck in mid. They can still look for a rotation angle, but unfortunately for Ace 12, the creeps never stop, Mike. So he was under vision the entire time. That also kind of forces Kishka's movement away. They will have to play passively again. But all the supports mid, it's opening up the side lanes a little bit more for Spawn.496. We're seeing Ghost benefit a lot. Like, sure, 11's still not a hero you can really run up against, but your PL is really not slowing down because of all these supports away.
Oopsie, Ace 12. Well, he tried to stick around to secure the power rune, but there was an Observer Ward with the vision all over him. He'll brain sap though, and the arrow does connect, but eventually XE Learn going to be able to get the kill. The Arcane Rune gonna go the way of Xiao Bon Bon as Sanctity does force the Grimstroke to just take the Arcane Rune before he does it himself. So I suppose at least you deny the Power Rune away from the Leshrac, but that's about all you get out of that.
It's not the biggest thing to get out of it, but it's still something for Lilgun. I think they should still be sort of happy with how freeing up the silence have been going. Like, sure, you're sacrificing the fact that you're giving PL some farm, but you're also opening up the game for 4-2-3. His armlet's almost done, into the face boots next, and even if your axe isn't slowing down your PL, he's still up there in CS. So you've got the early Vanguard already up and running for 11, Blink not too far off. I think that is something that both Lilgun and Spawn.496 has to consider when they group 6 heroes mid.
Force the rage out of 4-2-3 top lane as they did commit the Inkswell onto red. Spawn.496, no rush for them yet. Just keep escalating on XE Learn. Same will be said though for Sanctity, who starts farming the stacks, and well, naturally against the Leshrac, you want to try and take these as fast as humanly possible. He will of course try to infiltrate later on and just take them with the Pulse Nova. Sanctity, he'll get that done. And funnily enough, John, 11's the one with the top net worth right now on the axe, and I suppose that's not too unusual considering he is 1v1 against the melee hero like a PL. But 11, he might have a very impactful game the way his laning stage has gone.
Yeah, I mean, he's already got the Vanguard, he's very well protected. He's going to the Blink next, so a lot of the plays will have to come out from him. And he always manages to get some good calls in the creep wave. Sure, not enough to find a kill, but definitely enough to zone out a PL. And again, that's something for Spawn.496 is sacrificing by having all of your supports mid. 6 heroes mid for the past, what, 2-3 minutes, Mike? It's been non-stop.
And nothing's happened, John. Nothing's happened in this mid lane. They're just hanging out, just a bit of a party in the mid lane. Nothing wrong with that. Spot lane, 11's trying to go back in onto Ghost and has done a fair bit of damage. Doesn't really have the call to throw out again, so Ghost should be fine this time around, but no, the battle hunger's there. He found the right target. He won't chase though, as now, well, he's gone too far. XE Learn is going to be around to make sure that Ghost can finally get some farm going. As 11 will try to turn, but no, XE Learn, he does secure the kill. That'll be, I believe, the third of the game for him. 3-1-1 on the Leshrac thus far. The impact has started for XE Learn.
He's got the maxed out Edict, so it could be an easy swing for a tower push. You do want to commit here on the side of Spawn.496. For Lilgun, sure, your axe is tanky. With a Vanguard instead of a Hood of Defiance, you are going to be susceptible to that magic damage from the Lesh. So that's something to still consider there for our axe, and I think that's going to lead to maybe just a focus on durability for him. He still is queuing up the Blink. It's going to be the Blade Mail into BKB. Looks like he just wants the spell immunity instead of any sort of mitigation on the magic damage. Just wants to avoid it entirely and just stand his ground. With all the movements that's been coming through, you talked about stacks for the Theater. Stacks here for XE Learn as well. Clears out the large camp, still leaves the Ancient standing. Could be some good catch-up farm for them to fall back to as well if they do need. But Ghost is still under pressure. Very low HP. He's constantly been shoved out of his lane. Bottom network core, however, still above Sanctity. So it's actually Sanctity's bottom network right now in the TA.
He's not too far behind either, John. I mean, everyone's very close in terms of net worth at the moment. He's just about 200 gold behind the Lifestealer, so really not too bad. Should be able to catch up quite fast. Spawn.496, their attention is still focused on that mid-tier 1 tower. They're going to try and move in onto Sanctity. A nice arrow out onto Ohio, but it's going to lead to nothing. So Ohio is going to be able to walk away, but Sanctity, he moves back in, and I'm not sure about that because the Soulbind is going to lock them in. They've already got Ace 12. Sanctity, though, he's going to be okay to back. He had plenty of regen anyway, but they are going to lose Ace 12 for pretty much nothing.
Great freebie kill for XE Learn. Again, we've got to see maybe a sort of transition into a push here because Spawn.496 have been finding kills, but they haven't really transitioned that into anything on the map. Top lane's been left alone for 4-2-3 to farm up as well. So you're kind of giving out free farm and you lose your bot tier 1. And more map control coming out for Lilgun, more space for them to play that catch-up farm, to sustain the slightly greedier lineup with a Lesh out with a Lifestealer, a TA, and an Axe. That's a lot of farm for all of these heroes, but opening up that bot lane, opening up that bot jungle for a bit, does make it safer for them to play this greedy lineup.
And it does. Still, Lilgun with a 1k net worth advantage should be okay with the way this game's gone. 423 already armored up, having a great old time with this life stealer. Just no real pressure being applied. The blink up on 11. They want to try and go for a smoke up and try to get some form of play going. Of course, if you do manage to find a pickoff or two, you're looking at that mid-tier 1 tower, and it's looking very tasty for Lilgun. Instead, though, they might find Ghost. Kishka does spot him out for a second. 11 will try to close the gap, but is unable to before Ghost gets into the tree line. With that, however, 423, he'll just keep pushing that top tier 1 tower. And Ghost, he is forced to show himself to try and slow this down, but now they know he's in the tree line. So trying to bait him out. Meanwhile, towards the south, who have they got? It's going to be Ohio. He's still fine, though, just to be able to walk away as the Abaddon, but he's not level 6 yet. But never mind that, because now Exilern is there, and they've got the axe trapped up within the arena, and that'll be one down already. There's Lilgun. They've got to lick their wounds and just back out. Without their axe, they've just got no front line. Spawn.496, they play that really well.
They play it really patient. They manage to get the circle around they want. Lilgun, I think the one benefit for them is they still keep that Radiant side ward. So they've still got a really aggressive triangle ward to watch the farm. And considering that kind of movement, Spawn.496 still aren't pushing. Even if they're finding these kills, they're not killing the big core in the TA or the life stealer anytime soon, and they haven't taken any towers. They need to make a move on the map. They need to melt some of these objectives, Mike, because that's a ton of space for 423. That's a ton of space for Sanctity to catch up here, and they're catching up fast.
They've got 423 with the spear, but there's just no follow-up damage. That's the thing, right? Like, he's just going to pop his rage afterwards and walk away, and there's really just nothing you can do about it at the moment. You are very reliant on either Exilern or Ghost to be around to get that follow-up damage off. Bit of a group up though. Moonlight Shadow going to be popped. Ghost, he may have spotted that. As everybody on Spawn.496 does back off. And Lilgun, well, they will get nothing out of the Moonlight Shadow.
Yeah, good dodge out from Spawn.496. They didn't really have the forward vision to find that. They just kind of get the game sense from the lanes being free. There was a clump up. That is still stalling for Spawn.496's push, but again, you're also not getting too much of a lead from Lilgun. So all things considered, it's still a very even game, Mike. And now it's their turn to smoke up. They've got the blink in red. They want to play with that arena again, and we've seen it from game 1 for Exilern and game 2 now from red. They just know how to play around as Mars.
But they do. Gonna try right now. Through the triangle they go. In fact, never mind that, because they found a haste room. Exilern, he'll take that one. Back into the triangle for 496. Ward's down in a great arena out. They've got Sanctity with the spear there, locking him down. Arrow to try and help out with the Nightmare. It's bought some time, but now he's completely surrounded. He needs help right here, right now, and he might just be able to get away from this. He'll turn onto Xiaofon Bomb, but eventually he will drop. They've even found Ace 12 on the Bane. If they find anything more, well, Red, he's juking up the core here from 11, as now Ghost will join in, and they're just surrounding the axe and spearing him up with Red on the Mars. Arrow will land on Ohio, but what does it matter? 423, he'll keep trying to fight. He'll just keep trying to keep this fight going, as Kishka about to burn out, and so will 423. The Infest was not there in time in 11. He was forced to buy back to try and help out. He just tried to get the blink in for the Infest, but it just wasn't quick enough.
Oh man, that's such massive commitment from Lilgun early on to try to bail out of that fight. Pretty much a full team fight. Team wipe coming out from Spawn.496, forcing a buyback as well, delaying the further timings of her axe. We were just talking about 11 a while ago, having a great time in that solo lane up against the PL. You know, having this early Vanguard, having the early blink, his timings are kind of falling off now. Even with the Blade Mill coming through after, like into the BKB, it just doesn't feel like it's going to be enough, and we need to see those big calls. He is the big playmaker for the team of Lilgun, right? Like, you can try to play around with Arrow and Nightmare, but for the most part, your AoE control is just Axe Call. So the investment has to come through onto 11, and again, when you consider Lilgun's draft with Lifestealer, with TA, and the Axe, there's just so much greed there, Mike, across all these cores. They all need farm. There's only so much space you can find that farm in.
Sanctity, maybe baiting for the team, but Red, he's there. Arena down again. Lilgun, they're smoked up. They're trying to make their way over, but it's just too late. Maybe they can still fight with a blink call out from 11, but where's the angle? He'll jump in onto Learn, dropping him low, spear around. Aphotic Shield just keeping him up as he gets the Yule Scepter off, but eventually he should die and does. In fact, Ohio may not be out of the woods yet either, but no, they're looking to reinitiate with Ghost down with the Inkswell onto Ace 12. Nightmare has been taken off with the Soul by now. They've got 4-2-3. The Infest wasn't there again. Back with the call. 11 still trying. They got Ghost with an arrow and they'll take him down. Finally, the PL does die, as now the Infest will give a reset back over to 11. Kishka looking for more. We'll be able to find Zhao Bon, and that should be another. So going for an Infest. Onto 11 with the TP out. Oh, he's gonna make it. Zhao Bon, very cheeky play there with the TP. But still a very nice arrow from Kishka to turn that team fight around.
That was on the edge. Make sure they sacrifice their TA. They still find a big kill on XLR, who had a massive kill streak behind him. So that in the end, a net positive for Lilgun. They gain a lot more off of that. Still not too bad for Spawn.496. They do manage to clear out the tower off of that, Mike. And that should give them more space to roam in that top jungle. Apply that pressure on the farm of the TA, Axe, and Lifestealer. And because they have such low cooldown spells in Spawn.496, they're going to look to go again.
Well, you bet your ass they are, John. Kishka, he'll be targeted this time. The spear will be off the mark, and Red, he won't bother popping the arena out. Marana will be able to leap away as now Ace 12 shows up. Fiend's Grip is available if they want to try and commit it here. Go for the Nightmare first. Into the arrow, but the Aphotic Shield. Gonna save and allow him to juke that out. And that'll be enough. Lilgun, not gonna overstay their welcome. All they want is to make sure this mid-tier 1 tower remains standing to allow 4-2-3 and of course Sanctity the space to keep this farm up, and that they will.
Yeah. Just keep stalling out, keep getting that win condition big. We saw Lilgun try to do that in game 1 with the TB, and this is another Sanctity special on TA, so they've got confidence and trust that it can get going. Although, Red...
Yeah, nice arrow out, Kishka. It's a short duration, but it's still a setup. Still, they won't be able to capitalize as the rest of Spawn.496 do show up. 4-2-3 though, he's still sticking around, but he's not within vision. It seems like Lilgun now might try to apply pressure on that tier 1 mid. Spawn.496, they'll be around to defend though. Pretty similar story between these two teams, as neither one is willing to really give that one up. So it does feel like Lilgun, they are not going to give up anytime soon. They're still sticking around. It's like the top and bot lane just do not exist with these two. Learn, nah, he won't commit the Diabolic Edict. He'll just back off to the triangle now. No need to rush.
Man, how often do you see a 19-minute game with a Leshrac in it, and both mid-tier 1s are still standing? Leshrac's tier 1 stands, the opposing team's tier 1 still stands. Just showing you how much both teams understand the importance of that lane and tower, committing the resources to keep that up. I think that does hurt Spawn.496 a little bit more. Again, if you consider the greed of Lilgun's draft, you have to also consider the fact that these heroes they have do clear jungle fast. TA can just melt the camps, Axe as well can just call them up, so they are getting a lot of value from that tower standing here.
That they are. Neither team budging at the moment. Lilgun, they may go for a big 5-man smoke up with the Blade Mail now available on 11. That could be a big game changer, especially against the Leshrac just kind of killing himself. Never just needs the right call here. He'll see Ohio, but that's not quite the target. Not the one he wants. 4-2-3, he'll move in first. Get the vision, and there's your call. He does find the Grimstroke of Red. He's in, but no, the arrow lands on the Mars, not allowing the spear to fly out, but nobody's dead yet. Now Ghost will rush in. Onto the Axe, they go 11. He's going to drop straight off the bat. 4-2-3 now is just melting to the damage of Learn. Look at that Diabolic Edict going. 4-2-3 with the rage up. It just doesn't matter. So much damage once this less shows. And Lilgun, they'll drop 3 for nothing.
And that is huge for Spawn.496. That should enable them to finally melt this mid-tier 1 as well. And we were just talking about how well Lilgun was protecting that tower. They force a fight outside, they get caught out, they get punished, and now they're going to lose their biggest asset on the map. This is going to make it a lot harder for Sanctity to find that safe farm, along with getting some wealth going for 11. They're still in position here, keeping their heroes around, but they can't really force that fight. And Spawn.496, they're hitting their power spike, Mike. They've got the Yasha, they've got the Diffusal and Ghost. He's going straight to heart, not even a Manta. He knows he just needs HP, he knows he just needs to be able to stand, sit through maybe a call, and from there you can just rip them apart, drain their mana, and have the cleanup come in from Exalearn for damage.
And that you do. And that net worth lead now just really non-existent here for Lilgun. It's just a very, very slight net worth lead for the Dire. Again, nothing to write home about. And well, Ghost, he is starting to really, really catch up in farm. And we just haven't felt any impact from Sanctity yet on this TA, it feels. He just hasn't gotten to a point where he can really commit to these fights and be confident that he can survive long enough to get the damage out. Still, they'll go back into the mid-tier 1 tower. Lilgun, they're going to try again to just slowly chip away with Kishka. Ohio, though, he's just happy to frontline for the team. And that's going to force them back. They'll have to go elsewhere.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They're looking bot. Sanctity's just standing there. He does have that fresh BKB up. It's a bit tough to leverage that without the blink, and now you have to deal with a Heart non-Ghost. So whether or not you have enough damage on that TA remains to be seen. The tower will melt. That is a trader willing to take. No, they back off from the TP, so they play it safe here.
Try and catch up, but they are a bit too late. They've even got an Arcane Rune available on the left track right now, John. This is very poor timing for Lilgun if they force this fight. Red, he's in again. He's found 11. That's your initiator. You can't afford for him to die like that. And now the soul bind. It'll lock him down. He's gone straight off the bat without buyback into Sanctity. Just trying to TP out, but he can't make it. Oh boy. And that was a BKB just straight TP out, John. He wanted nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it was still not enough. Like, he rushed the BKB after the Desolator to kind of join fights. He doesn't join fights. So he lacks the mobility to jump through the camps without the blink. And when there is a fight, he's forced to BKB TP home because they didn't engage on Lilgun. They backed off. That's what was so strange about that back off there, Mike. They were in such a good position to just maybe bait in with a chorus, have 11 stand back, and come in with a counter initiation call. And instead, they reposition to a very awkward spot and allow Spawn.496 to kind of get the upper hand in setting themselves up, and they get punished. Spawn.496, great read. And they realize the retreat's a big opening for them. They capitalize on it. They take the bot tier 1. Ghost is just so big on this PL. Just Diffusal Yasha Heart. That's all he needs because the damage is still on Exalearn because there's no pipe. There's nothing to mitigate that magic damage here.
Again, just back into that mid-tier 1, they refuse to allow Lilgun to even get close to it. To even think about taking that tier 1 mid-tower down as Kishka now was spotted. Ohio, he'll leave him be. Meanwhile, 4-2-3 is going to be fine with the Rage TP. And for Lilgun, they have at least forced rotations that lead to nothing for Spawn.496, so definitely great news for them, but Roshan plus DD.
Yep.
Amazing.
Tradition, Mike. All day today. That's all we've been seeing. Roche opens up. There could be a good call play from 11, but it's a bit too far here, Mike. So it's like they will have to surrender this Roche. Not the fastest, but also not the slowest with the damage output coming out from Exalearn. And those look like Lilgun are just not going to contest. They know it's happening. They did have that arrow to scout, but they just have no business being in the pit. So how do you deal with 2 lives in Exalearn? Like, the Leshrac is just a perfect hero for the Aegis because he gets fresh mana, he can spam all his spells again, he gets even more damage out with the more he stays alive. I just don't know if Lilgun's set up for it. It still boils down to the fact that your arrow combinations are cancelled off by Abaddon and your call combinations from Axe, it's just not amazing. Axe he's just past that prime of big teamfight calls. Like, it can still happen, but it's so hard to pull off.
Ghost. Into the tier 2 top they go. Mind you, the bot tier 2 has already been taken, so Lilgun will be directly trading. Thing is, Spawn.496, they may not stop. But there's not really much of a reason to stop with the Aegis up. And with that net worth advantage finally their way, they will try, at least for the tier 3 it seems. Again, it won't take them very long with that Diabolic Edict up. See if Lilgun can force a defense. But there is not many buybacks available for them. You've got 3 and that's about it. Looks like Ghost though, he's going to TP out down to the bot lane, 4-2-3. He's going to try for the TP with the Rage. And it looks like Ghost is not even going to bother trying to hit him. So Ghost, he kind of leaves the top tier 3 to just be left till later. Suppose he does not want to lose his own bot tier 3 for the sake of trading. No need for that. They'll come back another day.
I think the issue for Spawn.496 now is really just a BKB piercing stun. They need to have a way to stop 423 when he does rage up. Something like a Basher, Abyssal could work, and that's still a ways off for Ghost. Not really the ideal PL item, but he will go for the Scotty next, so a little bit more to pin down that sustain. Lilgun, they're still hitting some damage time and some sanctity. He skips the blink again. Did he? Okay, he has the blink coming in. All right, so he's got the blink and Crystallis up, going for the Daedalus next, so he can use that BKB now. He can jump in, look for a good position to get some damage off, and start to clean up for the team if the opportunity opens up, Mike.
So far, just so good for Spawn.496. Lilgun maybe just having a bit too much fun over the holidays, I think, John. So one team looks like they were practicing, the other one maybe just partying, at least for now. Not that I can blame them, John. We were partying as well. You know, you and I, we're very lazy people.
Yeah, sure. Now, I want to take this moment as well to appreciate the sponsorships on Spawn.496, especially Red. Banh Mi. He knows what's good, Mike. He knows what's
love me a banh mi. Love me a banh mi, John.
I would kill for a good sandwich like that. Still, you know what? Lilgun would kill for their towers to be up. They lose their mid tier 2. They are shoving in top. And again, 423 is just playing the split push game. So there is some pressure to kind of go back. And 423 does some good damage on towers with his attack speed. So you can't just allow that to happen.
Being really annoying as the spear comes out again, but the rage TP is just there every time. It might be about time for Ghost to think about an Abyssal Blade, I think, John. So these kind of this split pushing going on, it's going to be very annoying for Spawn.496.
Yeah, they need to have a response for it. Like, the moment the PL leaves, I think Lilgun understands that Exelern isn't comfy standing up front for his team, especially since they need the Mars there with his own stunts to kind of try to catch out the Lifestealer. The Lifestealer. So I think if 496 just send out the PL and have him deal with the Lifestealer instead, keep the Mars around to back up Exelern's Leshrac, you could actually still push back. They will go for a smoke play on Spawn.496, not under any ward, so they might be able to get a good flank here if they do manage to scout out.
They're trying. In fact, pings are out towards the mid lane. 423. Now he's going to know not to go to the low ground. They do reveal themselves now, but 496 is going to try and force the retreat out from Lilgun. So at least get the Fortify out, but they are not backing yet. They've still got 50 seconds with the Aegis up still towards the top side. Sanctity is split pushing the top tier 3 tower. So Spawn.496, they are still losing this trade. They need to make a choice. Are we pushing or are we defending? Well, right now they're just standing in the mid lane. So they do get a free tier 3 tower. For the side of Lilgun. They get away with it.
Yeah, this is not going the way Spawn.496 wants it to go. They don't have any quick travels as well, so they can't instantly respond and go back. And I think that hesitation is starting to cost them. This is a big opening for Lilgun. Just blowing up a tier 3 means that the lane's going to shove in a little bit more after a creep wave is cleared out. There's always going to be a bit of a natural push and no natural real defense from a tower on the high ground. And I think for Spawn.496, it goes back to that point, Mike. Abyssal has to come out. The Scotty's done. Abyssal's next. Right. I think he might have been better off going for the Abyssal first, but it's not like he saw this possibility coming true on Ghost. So we'll see if the Abyssal comes out in a timely fashion. Once you do have that stun in play, having a Sanctity or 423 run up and split push like that should be much more punishable. But for Lilgun's part, they've done a great job installing out against an Aegis. Exelern only has 24 seconds left on the Aegis. Not much time left to actually do something on the high ground. And that is giving Lilgun much needed time to play catch up here.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Lilgun are doing a fantastic job. Thing is, once you get to that Abyssal Blade timing, it's not going to be that easy anymore. So you'll have the actual answer in stopping the Rage TP. But till then, you can just keep up the great work here if you're Lilgun. Thing is, I'm very sure they're very well aware that they just cannot fight this PL anymore. Like, it's... You could definitely kill him, but he's going to have to be by himself for quite a while, I think. So, Ghost, he's just 3.5k HP pool. Very, very tanky. A lot of regen coming out. You've got to consider the fact that Ohio is going to be behind him the whole time with the Phonic Shields and the Mist Coil Hills and everything else. It's just a very, very tough time for Lilgun, but they are salvaging this game too. You could definitely agree on that.
Is under attack.
Oh yeah, they're hanging on. They're starting to find some openings for themselves. I mean, this life stealer is really big. Mjolnir up, lots of damage, lots of right click. He is running up by himself. The scan does allow Spawn.496 to back off. So timely movement out from them. As the game comes back to stalemate. Aegis expires here, Mike. I feel like for Spawn.496, they're going to be the ones waiting for that next Roche. Whereas Lilgun might be more confident playing outside. They know they've got an opening. They still have some strong combinations they could try to pull off. I think the main issue for Lilgun is the fact that 11 has been really brought down in priority and farm. Still doesn't have that BKB, and without that, the Axe does feel really squishy in the front lines.
They do. Well, Lilgun, gotta be careful. Kishka, I believe, was spotted out by Spawn.496, but he's gonna be able to just leap away and should be just fine. 423 again with the Rage TP out is just very, very hard to deal with, so he'll be just fine. Red, though, still having a look around, might find 11. Mind you, Red is by himself at the moment, so he is a bit of a sitting duck. 11, though, is not going to make the jump in, and Red, he does actually TP out in time. Back towards his team, they might go for a 5-man. No smokes available, though, it seems. They'll just group up and make sure nobody ends up getting picked off. But Roshan, it's still quite a timing away. 496, they almost look a little bit unsure now of what they're doing.
I think they understand that they want to make plays, but they need the Aegis for the high ground, so it's a dead period for them. Again, consider Lilgun. They've got a lot of damage on Sanctity. They've got a lot of damage coming through from 423. Their scaling cores are much greater in number, because they've got TA and Lifestealers. For Spawn.496, they only really have the PL. To an extent, I guess your Leshrac can also scale, but it's not exactly the same, because magic damage does drop off. So there's a bit of a timing window here for Spawn.496, and for Lilgun, if they just keep holding like this, they're kind of in the clear. I think they are happy enough with that split push that happened top, with a split push that's always happening. But there's also the possibilities of going further with that split push, Mike. You could opt for Sanctity, getting the Ags down the line after this butterfly, and then I don't think you really have a response to that split push coming out with the traps.
To learn, he's found a target, but he's not going to be able to reach, even with the spider legs up. Kishka, Moonlight Shadow, he'll be able to run. Sanctity, just keeping that farm up himself, trying to get towards that butterfly timing. I mean, they have bought themselves so much space on Lilgun. Still, you are giving a lot of space to Ghost to boot, and he is still top of the net worth board. But I think, again, up until at least the Basher, he's not really able to get too much done anymore. It's just a very, very conservative game, and Roshan's going to be 2.5 minutes away, John, so bit of a wait for that one as well.
Yeah, it's a patience game now. I don't think Spawn.496 is going to look to really force the issue. Unless they somehow get a magical pickoff, like say a big pickoff on 423 while he's just kind of randomly farming. Not likely to happen, so probably going to have to wait for the Roshan respawn. Lilgun's still doing a good job of keeping top lane constantly shoved in, forcing Spawn.496 to come back to respond. And again, just keeping the movement in check, buying time for the big greedy lineup to keep farming up. Again, it's 2 cores versus 1 down the line. There's a lot to have to consider here for Spawn.496 delaying this game further.
This is time as well where you're going to start seeing these supports get their items up now, right? Like Kishka's got the Ags, Ace 12. I don't know what he's really working towards, but just with the Aether Lens and the Psychic Headband, you've got so much range that you don't really need much else. But there is going to be a smoke up now. 11 going to run right into Ohio, but the smoke is going to be broken. Not quite the target they want as the arena is down. They've got Kishka already, but the Fiend's Grip is going to stop Red from going any further. But now the Soulbind going to lock a couple together, but it's not quite enough yet. Meanwhile, Sanctity on the left side ends up going down to Ghost. It's not a great team fight here for Lilgun. They're going to try and man up. 423 with the BKB just fighting Ghost one-on-one, but it's still not enough, Ghost. He's just so damn tanky. Just doppelganger through. There's your rage out now. Where's the help for 423? Well, there was the help, but he's been stunned up. 11, he's gonna drop now to the left rack, and 423 needs to TP out. It's gonna be a 4-for-1. What happened to Sanctity, John?
He was on the low ground. The rest of his team was on the high ground. They completely focused in on Mars and ignored their TA. It gave that opening to Spawn.496. So now, even if the life stealer runs away, the main damage dealer really is your TA. Your life stealer feels like an illusion clear with a Mjolnir, and they should open up the high ground push. Double damage running on Ghost as well. So no Roshan, Mike, but tower should go in. In fact, that's still timely because Rosh is up in 4. You know, tradition still holds, but this push should be fast now with no Fortify up. With the Diabolic Edict running, they should be able to find a few racks.
Oh, absolutely. DD Rune spawned around Roshan timing, just so you know, John. Roshan is up for anyone that doesn't believe us. It's always a DD Rune, every time. This time around they decide for the mid-racks rather than the Roshan, but they'll go back for it. It's no problem. And more importantly, John, Bash is now available. So Ghost, he's not going to have to worry about that Rage anymore. Rather than just the Rage TP. They'll go into the Roshan pit. Shards to be up. And I suppose you just give Red the shards here, right, on the Mars. So the double speed is very valuable.
Yep. Gives you a lot. You already have the shards up in Excel Learn. So he doesn't need it. I don't think PL shards is, you know, can be too valuable. Unless a certain Pale Horse is watching, but... yeah, no, it should be red.
Well, here we go. 423. He's going to try and delay this. Sanctity does jump in as well. They're trying to take down Red, but the Soulbite is there again, and now the Arena. It's out. They've got the spear onto 11, and Sanctity's gone again. 423. How is he not getting bashed?
What?
Wait. How does he not get bashed?
That is a million hits.
Roshan got first hit bashed on. That's how unlucky Ghost got. He got first hit bashed on Roshan.
That is just unfortunate there. Still, big win for Spawn.496. This should allow them to, again, go into the high ground, clear out another set of racks. Lilgun, the game's getting harder and harder. Sanctity is just getting picked off in the middle of these fights. His positioning is tough to figure out, right? Like, it's very hard for him to find the angle because, again, they're playing off the back of a claw, not something like Arena. So his area of play is super small, and every single time, Spawn.496 is just ready. They get the good stunts off, they manage to burn down TH. It's not very tanky, even with the BKB, and it becomes really manageable. But your life stealer, again, is not the damage dealer, it's the TA. Every single time they get control there, it can be a bit rough. They are starting to split push again, 4-2-3, but this is not something they need to respond to. They're going to get mega creeps here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're not going to go back to the defense now. Ghost, he'll just keep going onto that tier 3 tower. Sanctity not opting to buy back yet. He's only got 10 seconds left for the respawn, but this could be the final team fight if Lilgun aren't too careful. This Ghost, again, is just completely uncontested. Just not dying. Aegis is up to make matters worse, but to go in with the blade mail out, arrows off the mark. Now the spear there from Red. That'll lock one down. 4-2-3. He'll move in. He'll try and help out this team as the buybacks are going to come out for Lilgun. But what can they do and who are they aiming? Ghost, he'll keep rushing forward. Onto the Bane now he goes. That'll be another down. Meanwhile, Red, another Arena onto Sanctity again. This TA, he just keeps getting caught out, and Ghost will rush him. Ghost is somehow still alive. He might just drop now with the Aegis, or maybe not. He'll keep going onto 4-2-3. Now 4-2-3, he can't get him. The Aegis is going to remain as Ghost. He will keep going, keep surviving as Sanctity. Not again, not the disarm. They'll back off for a little bit. They'll kite out, allow Ghost to reset, or will they? Red's in trouble now on the Mars, but Ghost, he does finally go down with the Aegis. Meanwhile, XC Learn on the sideline, just controlling up the axe. They get the Hex out. They've got 11 down without buyback as Ghost now. He wants to put a little in this game right here, right now, as 4-2-3, and Sanctity's been caught out another time. Oh, it just keeps happening. 4-2-3 is completely surrounded, just trying to fight on his own. A great Beans grip there from Ace 12, but where's your team, buddy? There is no teammates to help out. They nightmare him up. They're gonna keep trying. Gishka, yeah, he's been speared up. He's down. He'll commit another buyback, but now the Abyssal Blade, it's finally here for Ghost. He takes control over this Life Stealer. 4-2-3, BKB's up, but he's down. No buyback, they've got to call the GG. And Spawn.496, They pull off their first series victory up against Lilgun of all teams.
That is insanity. I don't think anyone would have expected that. Mike, we've had big upsets in the CDPC already in Div 1.
Yep.
OB Neon trouncing T1. And here, Spawn.496, the bottom of the pack, 0-4, beating out Lilgun, who got relegated out from Div 1, but still looked like a strong team facing off against these teams. And Spawn.496 just do it like in absolute clean fashion as well. Very well disciplined, very coordinated as a team. It feels like Christmas has worked some magic on a couple of these teams because Spawn.496 looked great. You know, Ragdoll looked really clean as well in their match.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to what happens because that is insanity. Like the coordination from Spawn.496 to build up there, giving Red the Mars, which we've seen him perform on old Spawn.496. You know, Exalearn on that Leshrac, which he talked about a bit. You know, very sensitive in the timings. He might not have gotten that early push, but the early fights that he was joining was very impactful. And for Lilgun, they experiment a bit. They go back to the 11 acts that they kind of fall back to a couple of times. They were forced to first phase pick TA just because it was going to be banned on the second phase. And they still pick up a Lifestealer safe. Like they didn't have the big team fight they wanted to. They go with this Bane Marana combination that's completely countered by the Abaddon support pick from Spawn.496. So all of the angles Lilgun had were kind of closed out, and it's just really difficult to force a fight only off the back of a call, Mike.
Absolutely. We are currently waiting to find out who our interviewee is going to be. I'm going to take a wild guess. I think we're getting Ohio, John. We always get Ohio. They always throw the poor guy in to have to talk to us. Though Ohio's a nice, friendly chap. He seems to enjoy talking to us, unlike most pro players, John. So I look forward to seeing if it is going to be him. I guess it could be the other ones as well, but we never get the other players, John. It's always Ohio. Always.
Yeah. Always Ohio, you know, love talking to him, love talking about food. We'll see if it's him. There's a possibility they toss Ghost into the fire, you know, toss the young guy in.
Yeah, why not?
Could be something. Or Exalearn, right? Like he's a streamer, he's comfy with a camera. He should be fine with interviews as well if they want that.
Well, I just don't get why players are so scared of interviews. I mean, just come talk to us. It's okay. We're not gonna bite your ears off. We're just here to talk and ask some stupid questions, and then you can leave. I mean, they are the winners after all. That's the worst part, John. They won the series. We're not interviewing the losers.
Exactly. You know, it's funny because, you know, I was doing the interviews for the media day content for, you know, the team matchup videos, and I was talking to Mamang Dai. He's a friend. We chat on Steam. We're friends on Facebook now. You know, the entire thing.
Wow.
When we were doing it, like he looked so calm. He looked so comfy. At the end, he said he was so nervous. I'm like, what do you mean you're nervous? You're just talking to me. I'm an idiot. You have nothing to be worried about. You know me. I'm dumb. Just speak. It's fine.
And that's why
it's not like I'll put you on the spot.
That's why we're so good at interviews, John. Because we're so below these players that there's no in fact, here we go. You were right, John. We do have Ghost. Welcome, Ghost. Congratulations on your victory, sir. How you doing?
Good. Thank you. Feel really nice to have our first win.
Absolutely. I mean, I was gonna ask you straight off the bat. What changed after the holidays? Like, you guys look so strong all of a sudden, and you picked up your first series up against Lilgun. What happened in that New Year Christmas period to change things up for you guys?
I think we just play more team game, more discipline, more teamwork. Maybe at start, like, we still a new team, so we don't have those synergy yet.
Right.
Now we slowly have that thing. Yep.
And were you guys scrimming during the holidays, or did you guys decide to take a break?
Yeah, we have few days, like 2 days break. After that, we just scrim. It's Saturday.
Wow. Busy men. Apart from that, I mean, well, tell me about what was going wrong. I mean, you kind of already went over it, but what happened before the holidays? Like you said, there was a few coordination issues. You guys weren't gelling well enough. Was there any language barriers going on? Anything like that, Ghost?
Language, I think a little bit. Maybe the accents wise, but
right.
Slowly, like we understand each other now. Slowly become better.
Excellent. Go on, John.
Fair enough. Thanks for coming by, Ghost. I'm curious, you know, you've had quite the stint in Southeast Asia for a while. Last season, you were with Team Mystery. You're doing well now on Spawn.496, or at least in this match. What do you hope for Spawn going forward? Like, do you guys see yourselves still having a shot going operative, or are you guys kind of content in building up in this tour, keeping your spot and gunning for the next season?
I mean, after the 4 loss, upper division is kind of hard. I
Mm.
think it's impossible. So we're just hoping to stay in the lower division.
Right. Is there, let's say by tour 2, you guys climb up. By tour 3, you guys are now operative. Let's just imagine that. Is there a team that you would really love to play against in all of Southeast Asia to kind of prove a point? Is there any specific team that you'd love to kind of fight?
For me, I think Team SMG.
Mm.
Love to fight
Why
Team
SMG? Why
because
SMG?
of they're mostly Malaysian.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So you want to prove a point against the Malaysian veterans there,
Yep,
which is the
yep, yep.
thing. I'm curious. I was having a chat with Xiao Yu because I had to interview him. He said, he said that you guys in Team Mystery used to have a brotherly bond. Like you guys used to go out for food, go makan, jalan jalan. Is that something that you miss? Is that something you wish you guys could do on Spawn.496? Because I think right now, are you guys in a team house yet? No.
No.
So is
No,
is that
like,
is that an aspect of the camaraderie you do miss, like the physical interaction of it?
I didn't go with them because I live in other states.
Mm.
So yeah, it's kind of sad.
It happens, Me and Mike haven't met after 3 years. it's
Well, it's
just
5 years.
a circumstance of times. 5 years. Jeez, I keep forgetting it is 5 years. But yeah, someday you will, and I'm sure when the restrictions are lifted, y'all can get together. But congratulations on your win, and we're looking forward to seeing that improvement from Spawn.496.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ghost. You have a good one.
Okay.
That was the lovely Ghost joining us here today. I mean, he's a splendid guy, Jonathan. He did sound nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I could tell he was very, very nervous to speak to us. But you know what? I'll give it to Ghost John. He talked more than most pro players in their first interview. So you've got to give him credit. He did a fantastic job. And quite frankly, in the game, which is his actual job, he did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did really great. And I think he might have been intimidated by the NFT John. That could have been it. Because I saw myself acting up right there, so I figured that might have scared Ghost off a bit. But he did great. I'm hoping that guy can finally meet his teammates, because I was listening to Xiao Yu. He was like, oh yeah, when we were together, it was so fun. It's like, oh, well, you got to get Ghost in there. That's why in the lobby, he was like, Bojo, because he was being left out. Got to bring this guy in. Let him have fun. He's carrying your games. Give him something.
It's very relatable for us, isn't it, Jonathan? You and I. It hurts us. It breaks our heart a little bit hearing that they haven't actually been able to get together. But, times are tough. I'm sure sooner rather than later they'll get there. And, I mean, obviously there's been a massive improvement, John. I'm very happy to hear a team like Spawn.496, they didn't really spend too much time enjoying the holidays. And I say this in a very... It's a good thing in my opinion, right? If you're struggling as a team, there's no holidays for you. There's no break. You got to get to work. That's exactly what they did, and as you can see, the results, they've started paying off, and I'm really happy to see it.
Oh yeah, like hopefully it keeps up. And again, like they're very realistic. Ghost is very realistic. He knows it's gonna be hard to climb to upper div now, but we can stay in, keep our slot, work towards it in tour 2, and if we keep improving like this, then it should be an easy shot by then, supposedly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, with that, Jonathan, I think we've seen enough of your NFTs, sir. And I appreciate if you stop trying to sell them to the viewers as we do go on with these casts. That is it for John and I tonight. I believe there is more Dota coming up on this channel, however, so don't go anywhere. How long? 35 minutes, I believe, till we go live?
Yeah, around about, yeah.
Right.
Around about that time, yeah.
So the stream's going to stay live, and eventually we will restart, and the Division 1 show will begin. So if you're interested in more Dota, don't go anywhere. There's going to be more Dota coming up in about 30 minutes. Apart from that, though, it is MLP Dota and JohnXFire holding a Mate can. And it's been a pleasure. We'll catch you guys next time.